Good
You
evening,
know,
everyone.
guys, we are back. You know what I'm saying? To do what we do, we are here with the Culture Connection. I got my partner in crime. You already see. You see the breath of fresh air on the side of me. You know what I'm saying? We
Stop.
are here to do what we do best. It's the Culture Connection. I am Bigg Wall.
And I'm your girl, Cari. And of course, this is Culture Connection. So, welcome from everyone from the States to join me here in Canada. Thank you so very much, Bigg Wall, for coming on, doing this show with me. Well, it's both our show, of course. So, it's been so fun. Like, it all started one day. Bigg Wall's like, oh, yeah, I want to interview. I want to come on, connect with Cari. And I'm like, yeah. We have to, come on. And then all of a sudden, we're like, had this huge idea for a show. And we're like, yeah, we got to put our two shows together because you do address the culture
Yeah.
down in the States. And so I was like, yeah, like, let's get something going. So we're now episode 3.
We are here.
Yeah.
Episode 3. Check us out. You know what I'm saying? And shouts out to everybody in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Hello. You know what I'm saying? We great. We are here to connect our cultures. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And like
right.
Cari said, we had such a great interview when she interviewed me. So we decided to come together and kind of blend the two. You know what I'm saying? I have my
Yeah.
platform, Address the Culture, where we talk about everything. Cari's connected. And we putting it together, man. So we are excited. We are here at episode 3. Check us out.
Right. We're moving mountains.
We moving on up. You know what I'm talking about? We doing big things, man. Look, we gonna celebrate. We got a little confetti. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Episode 3.
we can celebrate. My birthday's later on this month, so we'll have another celebration for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. It might get a little crazy. We might have a few drinks, play a little game, bring some. We might do a little thing, some things on your B-Day. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's a fact. But Cari, what's going on with you on your side of the world, man? I
Oh
know you
man.
working. I know it's a lot going on, man. What's going
Working,
on with you?
grinding. It's been crazy. Like, Calgary, like, we're starting to get a bit of snow. We had a little bit of snow this past week, and now it's like melting again. And so it's like one of those things where everyone's like, oh, the snow, and we get a little depressed. But then you have to remember, like, it's actually November now.
Yeah.
So, it's going to start coming, but that's okay. But yeah, it's been like there's been shows here like crazy, all the artists up there doing their live things and just like going like crazy. And it's been busy, like super busy. So it's been good. It's been, even with the weather, there still have been shows. So it's like, okay, it's kind of a good test to kind of see like how many people are going to actually leave their houses when it's cold out.
Yeah. Over here in the States, it's been kind of crazy too. Like it seems like everybody trying to kind of get it going, still kind of moving a little different with the COVID and the pandemic. It's
Yeah.
like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but people still moving around. There's been a whole lot going on. We've been very busy over at the Address the Culture Network with all the shows. Shouts out to the team this week in the culture.
Yeah.
She Bananas, KL, you know what I'm saying? The whole staff. We got a lot going on. We just been busy, man, growing
Yeah.
up. Shouts out to iHip Hop TV. You know what I'm saying? We doing a lot, man.
I see
It's just
you. I see you. I'm like, yeah, Big Wall. Like, I can't, like, you're on fire, and I'm just like, oh, and like I said, I
thank
had
you.
just moved, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in this little slump, but it's been coming back nicely, and I'm like, okay, this is great to kind of like be in like a new type of a studio atmosphere and be like, okay, here we go, we're back on the grind again. So it was like
Yeah,
a little bit of like time off, but not time off. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
hard to kind of get back into it, but it's like when I see you posting up all your stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah. Let's go.
It's go time.
Let's go. And then I'm like, yes, our show is, we gotta get our show like just going and going. So I mean, tonight I'm excited for our tonight's guest. It's something completely different other than music finally. So I was like,
Yes,
yes, let's have
yes,
somebody
yes.
really exciting on. So we'll have her here in a second. But yeah, so
I'm super
excited.
excited. And like you said, it's not just music. She kind of tapping into everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited to talk to her. We're not gonna leave. We're not gonna leave. Make them wait no more. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You
no,
go
no.
ahead and introduce our guests so we
We
can
got
get right into it. You know what I mean?
yeah, Livva is with us here in the studio. Welcome, welcome. Oh, we're moving around. There we go.
There we
Yay!
go.
Awesome.
There we go.
This is our version of musical chairs. Welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh
Yeah.
man, go ahead, Carrie.
No, I just like welcome to the show. You were saying it's sound check. You're a little under the weather, so we will kind of go to your own beat here, and then if you just need to stop and you need to go, we're fine with that. We're
Or
like,
need to sneeze.
It's
I'll
okay.
let you know. Yeah.
yeah, just be like,
I will put some beat on before I do that.
yeah.
Oh,
It's all
but
good. We
but
understand.
like Carrie said, Leva, like we were so excited to have you come through to the Culture Connection because your story is fascinating. You know what I mean? You done had a lot of transitions in your life that a lot of people it just be one of their careers. You know what I'm saying? But you've had multiple careers that people have their whole lifetime. So I know you've done a lot of exciting things, and we kind of want to tap into it all. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a woman that
Yeah.
wear many
Let's
hats.
do it.
You know
No
what I'm saying?
stone left unturned. No stone left unturned. Like I was reading her
Absolutely.
bio and I was like,
Yeah.
what? Like this is
Yeah.
crazy. And I'm like, yes, let's find out a little bit of everything because like I just can't be like, okay, this one thing or just this other thing because I'm like the audience needs to know like the whole Livva, like what is everything about her because she's
Yes.
amazing. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
So with all that being said, we're gonna start off with who is Livva?
Livva is a singer-songwriter. She's an actress and a former professional figure skater.
Now, you just not finna throw out figure skater like that. That's light. You know what I'm talking about? Like you said that like and a figure skater. You know what I'm talking about?
Like she goes down to her local arena and just pops like around the stage
Yeah.
like a few times and that's it.
And that's definitely not what it was. So we're gonna kind of start right there. You know what I mean? When you how did you first get started into being a figure skater and knew that you was able to take it to that level that you took it to?
Well, first of all, I didn't know that's actually gonna be the level I will take. It all started when I was, I believe, 7 years old. My brother, he is 5 years older than me. He used to do hockey professionally. And I remember when I was young, we constantly would go on ice skating arena and watch all his games and practices. And he was always bragging about his dreams of becoming a professional hockey player. And I remember I came to my mom and I said, listen, I think you love my brother more than you love me. And she was like, why? I'm like, well, he's skating and I don't even have a pair of skates. So for Christmas, I want a pair of skates. And my mom was like, listen, like, we can give you a pair of skates, but you're not going to get into it. And we obviously, with your father, cannot afford both of you doing skating professionally.
Right.
So I think at that point for me it was kind of like, yeah, get me a pair of skates. I just wanted because I'm a little kid and I just wanted with no reason. And I remember first time I stepped on the ice, I was 7 years old. It was back in Latvia where I'm from. And all the kids were laughing at me because figure skating usually starts like the age of 2 or 3. And I was 7. I was holding to the sides of the walls, and I was barely skating, and I had old pair of skates, and everybody was laughing at me. And my mom thought, okay, like she gonna skate like a week or two, and then she gonna give up this whole skating story. But that was not who I was, and it was not in my character. So I came home and I said, listen, all the kids are laughing at me, so I get to become a champion just to show them that they're wrong. And I remember that time my mom told me, she looked at my dad and she's like, oh my God, we will need to start selling stuff in the house because both kids are going to be in professional skating. And it was so challenging, and I think that was the beginning. And I started to skate, and kind of became my life. And me and my brother, we used to be always on the different skating rings, and I had to say my mom worked nonstop, 3 jobs just to pay for our skating, and while dad was taking us to practice, it was crazy. Now that I look back, we were a family who could not definitely afford both children doing skating professionally. And when I won my first championship, I was 13 years old, back in Latvia. I became a Latvian champion. And then from there, you kind of like taste that rush and you want more. And then when I guess my big dream of stepping on the ice of World Championship and Olympics um, started. And yeah, it was pretty amazing. I won a lot of competitions. I became a Latvian champion several times. And unfortunately, my career had to end when I was 17 because I had my back injured and doctors prohibited me from going back on the ice. So unfortunately, that dream kind of crushed in the middle of kind of like taking off. And I had to stop skating when I was 17.
Oh wow. But let's not be crazy and acknowledge the fact that you was a champion
Yeah.
before the age of 17.
Yeah.
Like now that is like kid prodigy type stuff. Like, um, how was it being able to reach those heights so young? Because like when you're going through certain stuff, you don't realize how great it is until you get a little older. You know what I mean? So when you
Yeah.
was going through it, did you realize how great it was what you was doing at such a young age? Did you register how great it was?
I don't think I registered because back then I was also dealing with a lot of bullying in the sense
Mm,
that back in school, like nobody would be super happy for me, right? People would look at me and tease me, right? And a lot of kids didn't like me because I skipped a lot of school time because I was in Latvian Olympic team. So a lot of times when I couldn't go to school, the teachers were okay with it. And obviously, kids didn't like that. And at that time, I think I was suffering from um, that feeling that I want to be connected to other kids. I want to be one of them. And I constantly thought something is off. Like, how come I'm working so hard, but yet I'm so disconnected with my peers? And also, um, in when I did figure skating at the figure skating club, a lot of kids didn't like me as well because when you start winning and when you start going ahead, like nobody likes you. So maybe it's different here in Canada now that I see the figure skating scene here. There's way more support between the skaters. They kind of try to support each other and lift each other up. That wasn't the case back in Latvia. So that was kind of sad because
yeah,
I really wanted to kind of belong. I really wanted not only my mom and dad and my coach be proud of me. I wanted also my friends to celebrate my
your
victories,
peers.
you know?
Yeah,
But then you realize that you actually don't have any friends because you constantly spend like 8 to 10 hours at the skating rink with people who hate you for doing well. And then people back in school doesn't like you either. So I remember I only had one friend back in school, and we are friends till today with her. Her
that's
name is also
dope.
Olga. So
That's a great friend.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So yeah, at that time I didn't realize how amazing it
Yeah,
was. Um, it's just like as a kid, you have different kind of like priorities, different things you want to experience, and being connected to your friends and kind of going out and being cool that wasn't cool, you know. The kids who were like smoking and drinking, those were cool kids, you know, and
yeah,
everybody wanted to hang out with them. But I was kind of like in a different world, you know, so I
Yeah.
didn't feel connected, didn't feel like I belong. And that feeling I remember very clearly.
Yeah, but you're the cool kid now.
Absolutely.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, but like to
Absolutely.
kind of be like, I know who she was, and I remember she sat next to me in class, and well, she was there, but she wasn't there the majority of the time. But
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like kids don't understand unless they're actually like my. I've got a nephew who plays hockey, and I have a niece
yeah,
who's in gymnastics, and it's the same thing. They are go 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 like all the time. They're gone for tournaments. They're gone like you name it. They're gone. So
yeah,
like majority of the summer they're traveling, other than last year, of course, but the year before, they're traveling for the gymnastics things and then for the hockey tournaments. Like it's just one thing after another. So I could only imagine, between you and your brother, what your parents had to go through. Like it was good that your dad could help out and take you guys to the rink because that's like hockey.
yeah.
I don't know about figure skating, but I know like sometimes for hockey, you're up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to be able to get to the arenas. Did you have early mornings yourself?
Yeah, because we have deficiency of ice. Like there always was given priority to hockey players. And we sometimes would skate like 5:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, so super early hours and super late hours, so you whether like super sleepy in the morning or super tired in the end of the day, obviously want to sleep by the time it's 11 or 10, but you need to skate until like 12 or 1 a.m. So yeah, I experienced a lot of lack of sleep. um, and now I'm a new mom. I have a 5 months old baby. So now I kind of remember, I'm like, I'm so sleep deprived. I'm like, it's like in skating days. I'm like, thanks God I don't need to skate in the morning. I just need to play with my son, so it's way better.
So it's still a lack of sleep, huh?
Yeah. Now I'm like, oh, I remember how I
Oh,
felt.
at least
I
it's not a
remember that
cold
feeling.
arena.
Yes, no, 100%, 100%. Yeah, so much
So
better.
now you didn't had multiple things. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people can hang their careers on. You know what I mean? And I want to get into the acting before we get into the
Yeah,
great music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let's talk about the acting. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
we
I'm
talking
curious.
about a triple threat. You know what I'm talking about?
triple,
And let's
triple
be clear.
axle threat.
triple axel
I
threat.
like
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying? Now, and you've been in movies. Like we not finna play no games. Like you not out
Netflix
here
series.
acting. You be acting. You know what I'm talking about? So talk to
yeah.
us a
Yeah.
little bit about how you got into it, because it sounds like you're just an all-around entertainer. You're a creator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you allowing it to come out in so many ways, which is amazing. So talk to us a little bit and let our audience know how you got into the acting and what drove you to take it to the levels that you took it to once again when we speak about your
Hmm.
acting career.
Great question. I think it all goes back to my skating world because when I finished skating, I was 17, and I remember I had a very bad injury, and I spent some times at the hospital. And when I came out, I told my mom, listen, when I was skating, all this time, all I wanted to do is skate. And the other part of my life was music. I was constantly listening to music, whether it would be music I would skate to or music to inspire me, some musicians. So I also played the piano a little bit. And I said, listen, mom, like now my dream is over. And I don't think I know how to live anymore without achieving something. I need a goal. I need to achieve something. I can't imagine just having a normal life and how to enjoy normal life because I think once you spend so many years in sport and it's all about goal, achieving the goal, you just don't know how to live anymore differently. And I had a decision to move to Canada when I was 20 years old, and my mom supported that idea. And when I was going to Canada, even though I didn't know any English, I didn't know anyone, kind of was a crazy decision. I told my mom that I'm going to become a musician. And at that time, I remember it's like going back to figure skating life, my mom and my friends, they laughed at me and they're like, Olga, what are you talking about? Like, you 20, you took like a little bit of vocal lessons, you never written a song, you're 20, you go into the country, you never speak English.
Wow.
So how are you gonna do that? And I said, listen, I'm gonna figure it out, but I need to achieve something. And I remember when I came first year, it was really tough. I was just meeting people. I was learning English from ESL level 1, so it was rough first year. And then when I got my feet on the ground, my friend told me, listen, my friend just opened an acting agency and he's looking for new faces. And I'm like, well, I'm not an actress. Like, I want to be a musician. I'm a figure skater. And he's like, well, you want to be a musician, but acting, it's like two worlds kind of together. So I'm pretty sure one can help another. And like, you never know, maybe you can act. So I went to see the person and he signed me, even though I didn't have any acting experience whatsoever. And he sent me to this audition. And as I remember back then, it was so funny. I had to audition for a Russian prostitute. So very stereotypical.
Was it
And
like
I had,
a James Bond movie?
I think it was like very low budget, small production. And I had only one line. And I remember till today, well, I read the description, right? Like, I'm auditioning for a Russian person, and then I'm coming in the room. Everybody's sitting wearing like in the waiting room, wearing jeans and like a simple t-shirt. Later on, I learned like you don't need to dress like a part. You can just come like a regular person.
Yeah.
Well, I borrowed crazy high stilettos from my neighbor, from my roommate at the time. She was doing pole dancing, so she had the shoes. I put the leather red pants.
Okay.
I squeezed my boobs in, so I look the part, right? I'm walking in the room, right?
Oh,
And
no.
everybody's looking at me like, who is this crazy person, right? And I'm like, why do they look normal? I'm like, what kind of prostitute they're looking for in their movie, right? Like, they don't look the part. So anyways, and I never forget the look on directors and producers' face when I walked in, right? They've been just looking up and down, and they couldn't believe that I actually. And I remember he asked me like, I hope you didn't walk like that on the street. I'm like, no. Like, I took my shoes with me. It's all good. Like, it's just for here.
They
And
say
I landed the jump.
They say dress
Hey.
the part that you want, right?
I like the energy. I'm not mad at you. You got to prepare for your role. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm like, they told me I dressed the part. So it was hilarious now when I look back. And I booked the part. There was only one line.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
They actually
They're like, she looks exactly.
They're like, she's got it. She's got the
She
part.
got it. She got it. I ain't even heard her act, but she got the role. You know what I'm talking
She looks perfect.
She got it.
Hilarious.
That's well, yeah.
So
I mean,
that's kind of like, yeah.
So, Tone and I, we've actually done some acting ourselves, so we kind of know the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole industry and the scene, yeah. It was hilarious. So I booked the part, and I remember I called my agent, and I'm like, I booked the part. He was really excited, obviously, because he just started this agency without also knowing anything. And he was speechless when I told him the whole story, but I got the part.
Yeah.
And I remember I loved it so much that I decided to give it a shot. I will take lots of acting classes. I got a dialect coach, and till today I'm taking both acting classes and dialect classes. And I just said, oh, okay, I'm gonna have fun. And for 3 years, I booked tiny parts, nothing major. I started being super disappointed. I was also pursuing music, so it's always were like classes, and never stopping like learning English, like networking. And the very funny story happened. My agent at the time, I switched to another agency later on, and she told me, listen, they're looking for a Russian figure skater for a movie, so this is a perfect part for you. And I've been in Canada like 3 years or so, and I went to audition for the movie. And kind of like my childhood story repeated itself. The director, after the audition, I remember she put the script down And she's like, honey. And I'm like, yes. I thought she's gonna say something nice. I'm like, I got the part or something. She's like, please promise me that you're never gonna act again. You're horrible.
Wow.
Oh, no.
And I remember coming home and
Oh,
I talked to my mom. We're really close. I call her every day and I'm like, listen, can you imagine she told me this? And my mom said, oh no, it means you're gonna pursue it, right?
Right.
And I'm like, well, now I can stop, right? Like
yeah.
she
Yeah.
needs to know that she made a mistake.
Yeah.
And 8
Yeah.
years later, this movie never happened. Something fell through. There was a crazy story about the screenplay being stolen and everything. So 8 years later, she rewrites the part. I actually do another small part for the director's another movie. So we meet with her again at the audition room. And 8 years later, I do book this skating movie, which actually becomes a real push in my career, a defining moment. And I remember the first day I went on set, and I told her, remember there was a girl, a Russian girl, who came to you on an actual audition 8 years ago, and you told her that she's horrible and never act again, and she couldn't believe that that was me.
Wow.
And this story I tell every time somebody tells me, listen, can you give me a piece of advice? I'm like, the best piece of advice I ever tell you is if something knocked you down, use it as inspiration, keep going until this person actually tells you that he's sorry. And
Yeah.
she's like, oh my God. She's like, I'm sorry. Like, you were the person I've been auditioning for months and months and months, and you're the person for the movie. And it was also a defining moment because I was the movie called The Patricore. It earned me 8 acting awards, and it's also a chance for me to play alongside the very famous Russian actor Alexei Serebryakov. He's like a Brad Pitt in Russia, and I grew up on
Okay.
all his movies.
Mm.
And my mom is a huge fan of him. So when she found out, she was more happy that actually she will have a
You
chance to
made
meet
it. You
him.
made it.
Yeah.
You're a superstar. Yeah, you made it.
She's my greatest fan. Yeah. So
Aw,
that's
that's
the story of how acting came along.
Oh my
yeah.
God. You know what?
That's incredible. I love
That,
like those stories of like telling
wow.
people like, yeah, don't, it's just like skating. Once you fall, you get back up and you just keep going and you keep going,
Yeah.
pursuing those passions because you never know what's going to become of them, right? Like now, you're just this amazing person and you wouldn't have gotten that. Like if you didn't, like if you just would said, okay, look, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to walk off the ice or I'm just going to walk out of that audition room and just give up because someone says you're not good enough, you wouldn't be where you are today, right?
Absolutely.
And have this
100%.
inspiring story. Exactly. Like, yeah, there's someone who had said that, it's such an inspiring story. It is.
It
And people
is.
need to hear that, especially nowadays through all this COVID times, everyone's had their, whole lives turned completely upside down. But it's like,
Yeah.
there are ways to go around things, like you can book
Mhm.
your own arena slot to go skating. You can do like movies that are, you could do this
Yeah.
streaming, all this kind of stuff that you're able to
Yeah.
do just to keep going through these times where people, if they're going to tell you no, you have to keep going through it, right? Like you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing so that you're like, oh, no, I'm not going to give up. Then, like you said, eventually they're going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry that we didn't take you back then, and they're going to hire you right on the spot again. So,
That is
Agree.
amazing. What Carrie
I love
said
it.
is 100% true. Like
Yeah,
I
I love it.
subscribe to that channel. I love it when somebody tell me no. It fuels my
Yeah.
fire. You know what I'm saying? It motivates me. And you subscribe to that channel as well. Like let's be clear. You move from another country, not even speaking English. Move somewhere else. Conquer skating, conquer acting, and when everybody told you how horrible you was, you turned that into a career where you reach heights that most people wouldn't even think you did or could do. That is amazing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That is the
Thank you.
hustler spirit. That is the hustler's ambition. It is
Yeah.
inspiring. You know what I mean? So shouts out to you for,
Yeah.
not caring what nobody's saying and doing what you're supposed to do, man. That is great. Shouts out. That is amazing. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
don't know. even just to move across a country or to a different country and not even know a language, I'd
Come
probably
on.
be scared. I would just be
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
not going, right?
A lot of
So,
people wouldn't have went.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. You know,
Thank you,
and
guys.
then man, come on, man, you gonna get your flowers today. You know what I'm talking about? You know, and then for you to transition into the music where
Yes.
you're doing amazing. And I've heard the music, and it is amazing. You got amazing sound. You got a flow. You
Thank
got a
you.
vibe. Man, come on, man. I wouldn't tell you that if it wasn't. You know, you wouldn't even be here. You know what I mean?
Thank you, guys.
No, no, wait.
Appreciate it.
She would be here. She'd be like, no, I'm coming on.
Yeah, she would. She would. That's a fact, you know.
Yeah. Would not take no for an answer.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, and like I was saying, the music is amazing. So, what made you? I get it because you're a creator.
Yeah.
But what made you want to transition into the music and,
Yeah.
and continue all three? Because now you have done again, like I said, three careers that most people that will be their whole career. Now you finna tackle the music game, and the music industry is a monster. You know what I mean? It's not for the weak-hearted. So what made you want to tackle that and pursue that on the level that you pursue?
Well, music been always my passion, and that was the reason why I moved to Canada in the first place. Mama, did you do that? So I'm sorry, I have a baby
You are
crying
fine.
at the back.
You are fine. She want to be on the show too. It's okay.
Yeah, he wants to be in the show too.
You are fine.
So, Mama, tive to come. So, okay, the music. So the music, actually, yeah, that was my goal. Why I moved to Canada and I was writing songs. And as you said, the music industry is it's a monster. Like the amount of time I'm hearing no, and I keep hearing no till today. It's astonishing. Like it's crazy. It can break the spirits of so many musicians. And I know great musicians who actually gave up and they said, listen, it's not for me because the business is not on the art side. And sometimes I do agree with it. And there's so many unrecognized musicians and singer songwriters. So when I was going after acting, and I was still taking classes in music and taking classes for acting. And I think what helped me keep going is writing about my struggles or about the situation the situation I was in, about my heartbreaks, about challenges. And I remember at first it's so hard. You release a new song, you start sending it to everybody, you ask friends to share it, and it's so hard, and it's so, in a sense, annoying, and just to make people listen to you, and then you start doubting yourself. And I guess the music really start kind of happening. I'm still not at the level I would love to, but again, it started happening for me a couple of years ago with one of my tracks. There was a point in my life when it became so dark from trying. I felt like I burned out. I'm keep trying and I'm getting rejected. I'm getting so many no's for auditions and for music and for playlists. And we got a couple times funding with my producer, and then only to find out that we actually spend money on the wrong thing. So it was just like getting so bad, but I knew deep down I can't give up. And I kind of felt into this crazy dark period of my time. And at that time, I came to the studio and I said to my producer, you know what, like I feel like I don't want to be me anymore. Like I don't want to be that girl. Like I want to have a different life. And at that time, as I was, and then I came home and I wrote the song, I Don't Want to Be You Anymore. And a couple days later, Billie Eilish released the same song with the same title. And I was like, damn, here we have this track, which I wrote, which I put all my heart into.
Yeah.
And then somebody way bigger than I am, and I'm such a huge fan of Billie Eilish. I think that she's a phenomenal singer-songwriter, released with the same title. And I came to my producer and I'm like, okay, should I rewrite? And he's like, no, just like use it. This is yours. Sometimes artists can feel the same way about certain things and doesn't have to be the same topic. And I released the song I Don't Want to Be You Anymore. And my kind of world like separate went into like two different parts. I had people texting me kind of like saying, oh, don't pretend you're Billie Eilish, don't need to release the song with the same title, what are you doing, stop trying. I had so many hate messages, and then I started getting messages of people like, damn, that's how I feel exactly how you described in every single line, drowning and feeling hopeless. And the song, without us trying, next thing we know, a couple months later, we have 250,000 streams on all the platforms. And I have enormous amount of emails and messages from people. And I started replying, I started having conversation, actual human connection, and realizing that it's beyond the music. It's just giving people in this 3 minutes the feeling that you're not alone in what you're doing. And at that moment I realized why I'm doing music. I'm not just doing it also for myself to get through, but also serving people at their hard times. And my latest song when I released, it's called The Lucky One, and it was actually also written for myself, for my private archives. And my producer said, listen, you should release it as well, because somebody going through the same thing. But it was so hard for me finally be honest about my art and kind of put my heart on the table. I said, this is what I'm going through. I went through depression. I got through this. This is the song about breakup. And the latest song of mine is about my journey of becoming a single mom. And in the middle of journey, realizing that I'm actually going to be a single mom, and the realization and the pain that comes with it. And it was so personal. It's probably the most personal song I've ever written. And when I released it, I couldn't believe, again, the amount of messages I got from single moms going through the same and never actually being able to talk about their pain, or telling people, even their loved ones, what they're going through and how hard it is and how painful. And at the same time feeling super lucky and feeling like a warrior. And that's how I feel on my daily basis when I wake up and I have auditions, I have studio, I have my son, I keep like running. And but in the end of the day, I'm so lucky. Even though I sleep 3 4 hours for now, I wake up and when I see his smile on his face, I'm like, damn, like I'm still so lucky.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's actually was a big push for me to go back and actually revisit all the old songs I wrote, and I thought I will never release because they're too personal. And now we're going through them, and we're going to be releasing new EP this summer with all the songs which are too personal. But now I'm realizing like it's not about me anymore. It's kind of, I need to wear my heart on my sleeve, because that's what art is. If you're not connected to people and not making them feel that they're not alone, like what's the purpose on it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I love dance music as well. I released numerous dance tracks as well, where you can dance and have fun. But I just realized how important for me is to connect through my art. And that's kind of like this that became a very long story about what
No,
music
it's
means for
great.
me
No,
from
it's
how the music
amazing.
Beautiful.
started.
It's a
It's
beautiful
amazing.
story.
It
Yeah.
is. It really is. You know what I mean? And I think that's why you have gotten to the heights that you've reached, because you're not afraid to do things that people not tell you, and you're not afraid to be vulnerable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think that's where a lot of people connect with you. You know, people want to feel like they know you, and they want to feel like they can relate to your story. And there's a lot of people out who have been through the same trials and tribulations that you have. And again, that is
Absolutely.
amazing. It is not easy to be yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's a lot of people out here putting on fronts, and they not being true to themselves. So shouts out to you for
Yeah.
being that. And I feel like that's why your fans connected with you. And when we speak
100%.
about fans, what would you like to say to them? All of the people that's been in your corner, all of your people that's been supporting you since you were 17 winning championships.
Yeah.
What message would you like to say to them?
Well, I'm very lucky that I have, I would say, very personal connection to all the people who are supporting me. I'm definitely not at the level of a very famous singer, but most of the people, I even take the time always to reply to every single message. I never ignore anyone unless he's a stalker. It's a different story. But anybody who wants to, yeah.
Amen. Amen to that. You know what I'm saying?
So always to connect, and if they want to talk. And pre-COVID, I had a couple of the solo concerts, and one concert particularly, it was sold out, and even though it was capacity only 100 people, I had so many people waiting outside, and for me that was such a huge inspiration, and I made sure that every single person would eventually come in and listen at least a couple of songs, and the concert went from 1 hour to 3 hours because I kept repeating the songs, giving other people a chance to listen who came. So I think I'm really proud of that connection, of that personal relationship I have with every single fan of mine. I feel like they're my friends, they're people I connect, rather than just people who like and listen and treat me like somebody far from them. I'm just another regular person who just puts her struggles and pain in music and in my films, and I realized that connection is so important for me. That's probably the most important thing, than any like fame or money or this is success for me, just that connection with them. I didn't answer the question.
Absolutely.
I just want to say thank you, because again, artists without their audience is not an artist, right?
Yeah.
So we would just be people playing piano for our cat and dogs and little babies. So it's very important,
Yeah.
I'm very happy with every single person who, whether shares or my song or tell the story or put the song in their playlist. It means the world for me, and every song gets a second chance to be heard by other people and connect me with them, which is amazing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, you're so welcome. Like, we are just so blessed to have you here because we actually, yeah, we're here to connect everyone together, but each part of your life has been a connection to other people that have brought you to, where you are today, which is super incredible and
Yeah.
noteworthy because a lot of people don't understand, like, the people that we've had, even the haters in our lives, play
Yeah.
this part in us that actually push us to get bigger and better and stronger each kind of day going forward. Like, being like even just a single parent now, like your son is going to grow up and be like, Mom, like you're an incredible person to raise me alone or to be doing this, and just keep, and you're still pursuing your passions. You're like, I'm not going to just stop in my tracks because I had a child. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah.
he's gonna see that, and he's gonna be like, you're gonna be like his superhero
A
growing up.
rock star.
Yeah. So, a lot of
That's the
people
goal.
are like, we want people to be able to see that. That's like why we wanted to have you on and share your story, is because it's so incredible and people need to know, like, you can't stop. You have to keep
Yeah.
going, keep pursuing your passions. Like, and the thing is not just your son is going to see this, everyone else will see it too. Like you said, there's
Yeah.
people behind the scenes that are listening to your music that you don't even know about, that may not even want to message you, but they're going to hear it and they'll be like, wow, like I'm glad she put this song out, or I'm glad she was on this show today telling us her story because I wanted to quit and I wanted to stop because I'm a single mom, right?
Mhm.
So people just
Absolutely.
need, you never know who this reaches out to, and I think that's, such an incredible thing to share, is that vulnerability of not just your skating story and people hating you and being an actress and getting rejected and coming on and going through music and getting rejected in that scene too. But everyone needs to know, like, it happens, it's life, but you can't just stop. You have to keep going, and people need to hear that message and know, like, yeah, you're gonna fall on the ice, you're gonna walk through an audition wearing something completely weird, and people are gonna stare at you, but it's okay, because that's when they know they have someone different and someone incredible in their midst, and people just have
Absolutely.
to realize that. So thank you
Well
so
said.
so much for coming on and sharing that.
Thank you.
We are
Thank you so
very
much, guys.
grateful. Yeah, so if you can let everyone know where they can find you on social media, throw in a couple little, film titles if you want as well, and they can watch you. Yeah, feel free to share.
You can find me if you want to listen to my music. It's available on all the streaming platforms. You just go and find Livva, Livva. If you want to connect personally and say hi or have any questions, you can find me on Instagram, Livva Music, Livva Music. And the skating movie, The Petrichor, gonna have Canadian premiere in January, and then beginning of February, I'm gonna announce which streaming platform you can watch it at. So if you can add me on Instagram, you will know all the answers.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that because I'm on Instagram with you. So yay.
We
Yes,
are
we
tapped
connected.
in. Yes, we
Now we're
are
connected.
connected.
Now you're
We want
connected
to
with
thank
Karen.
you. We want to thank you for coming on the platform. We gonna have
Thank
to
you.
spin a block when you feeling a little better. You and your son, y'all gonna come back and we're gonna talk a little bit more about everything. We might
Sounds
do
good.
a little show for you. A show with you. That's amazing. We
Thank
want
you
to
so
thank
much,
you.
guys.
We don't want to hold you up too much, but
Yeah.
again, we want to thank you for coming through. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye
Good
bye.
night. Oh wow.
Amazing. Now, when you talk about motivation, Cari, you know
Holy
what I'm
cow.
saying? That
Oh my
story.
God. I was in a slump, and I'm like, okay, well, that's no excuse.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
He just
hey,
went,
like,
Karen, stop it. Like,
get it together. Get it together. You know what I'm talking about? She
so
she
ashamed.
is inspirational. You know what I mean? At 17, being a champion, where most people go their whole career and not even
Yeah.
be a champion. And
Yeah,
then,
like some people get thrown off the ice. They're like, you're not going to make it. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. Whatever.
yeah.
Some people quit because they hear a no. And it's just like, she's just like, hey, screw you guys. I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah, it's amazing. And
Mhm.
then to take that back injury, because you got to heal from that. So you got to work out. You gotta get that together. Most people don't even get past that. They just and then become an actress and then tackling the music industry. And she do a lot more that we didn't get a chance to talk about. But it's amazing, So that story is just inspirational, and it was so dope to have her to come through to the Culture Connection and let us talk about her story. It was amazing. You know what I mean?
So incredible. And then her son
was.
just had made
It
a little
was.
appearance.
It was amazing. Now, you already know, y'all heard from us. Now we want to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe, hit me or Cari. Let us know what's going on. If it's something y'all want to talk about, something y'all want to see, we might pull you on and we might have a discussion with you. We are not hard to find. We are locked in, and we're going to be right back, Cari, next week to do what we do.
That's right here on the Culture Connection. I can't wait. We have so many exciting guests all planned, and just like this incredible first season underway. So it's so incredible. And we have to give a shout out to our watchers and our listeners, of course, and those that do follow us on social media. Thank you so very much for all your support, because without you, we wouldn't have a show, right?
Absolutely. And like she said, we wouldn't have a show without you. So we appreciate you. And we'll be back next week right here on Just TV. You know what I'm saying? Doing what we doing. Shout out to the home team. We are locked in. This is your boy, Bigg Wall.
And your girl, Cari. And this
is Culture
Connection.
See you guys next week.